As the year is nearing its closing and we are in the holiday season, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I also want to sit down and talk about all the things that I am grateful for that Mia has brought into my life. This year has been such a crazy one, and I can't wait to just dig into it and tell you. If you're new here, my name is Phoebe, and below the camera is my little dog Mia. So come join us as I drink my coffee. My guide dog has brought so many people into my life. My social circle is so big in respects to guide dogs. We have such a great community and even people who are just interested and so passionate about helping the blind and visually impaired. I feel like my circle has gone bigger, even though before I felt like my circle was so small. As a blind and visually impaired person, I felt very isolated whenever I was a kid. I didn't really know many people who were blind, let alone use the cane. I never used the cane back in school, despite very much needing to. And so I felt very alone. I felt very isolated. And so whenever I went to Leader Dogs for the Blind, I thought that was an amazing opportunity to get to know more people who are blind or visually impaired. And ever since coming home with my leader dog, I have definitely gotten to know way more people, and whether that is puppy counselors, whether that is puppy raisers, and just the whole community. I got to connect with the person who had Mia when she was a little puppy, so I get to hear all the stories, and I love them. I love learning about people, and I love just sharing about my disability, but also hearing about their stories as well. My guide dog has brought so much independence into my life that the cane could never have before. The cane, I used it because I had to. I'm not a really big cane person, although I am a big advocate of the cane. I believe it is an amazing tool, but I'm not a cane person. I don't really like using it. I prefer a furry four-legged dog. So with the cane, I could go out, I could still go do things, but only when I had to. I didn't want to just go for a walk. I didn't want to just to go out to a store unless I needed something. So it kind of points you out more. People do see the dog, obviously, but the cane definitely signals you as that blind person, whereas most of the time when I'm using a guide dog, people don't even know I'm blind. People think I'm training the dog. Whereas with my guide dog, I can just get out there and I feel so safe. Like if I make a decision that isn't safe for me, my guide dog will disobey me and make sure that I stay safe. She is a good companionship, just being there while I'm walking and making sure that I'm safe. With the cane, there isn't any of that. Of course, there are downfalls, as all things are, but independence is a huge thing as a blind person. I can go to the store and not feel scared. I used to just feel really scared in public places. With my guide dog, I feel a lot better. Having a guide dog has made me so much more responsible, and I am so grateful for that because that's taught me a lot of life lessons that I believe are important. It is like taking care of other people and not being so selfish and only thinking about yourself. With my guide dog, I have to think about her and her needs and when she needs those things. She is with me 24/7, and even if she isn't with me, I need to think about, is she okay? I need to make sure she has a safe place to be. And like many of you who have dogs who you leave home, you can only be away so long before you have to come home and take care of your dog. Whereas if the dog is in public, is the dog knocking things over? Is it knocking kids over? Is it being safe? It is a well-trained dog, but dogs are still dogs. And some environments are overwhelming, even if it's a grocery store, especially around the holiday season. Everyone's shopping, and there's a lot of grocery carts, a lot of crowd work with my guide dog and I. So I am really grateful that she has taught me to be more conscious of others, more conscious of just myself. I feel that she has taught me to be more responsible and to be a good mom. That's all I want, is to be a good dog mom. Something I used to be really ashamed about before having Mia really is not only just the cane, but also my blindness. Whenever I was younger, everyone would tell me, you can't do this because you're blind. You can't do that because you're blind. Well, you can't do that because you're blind. Everything had the because you're blind in it. And that's not the most empowering thing to hear. Yes, I have remaining vision, which makes me legally blind, but still under that blind spectrum. It's a wide spectrum. It was a little diminishing to always hear, well, you can't do XYZ because you're blind. And which is why I love to bring awareness to people, because I want to show that just because you're blind doesn't mean you can't do stuff. And that's why I'm just so incredibly happy and grateful that I get to be bringing awareness to people. I am grateful that I'm not ashamed of being blind anymore. I'm not ashamed of albinism, which I was really ashamed of albinism, which, if you don't know, albinism is a condition where you lack pigmentation. It comes with varying different issues. I will definitely make a video on that soon. But on the blind aspect of it, when you don't have pigmentation in your eyes, it makes the eyes, all the light just flood into the back of the retina. And it just causes other issues like astigmatism and nystagmus, photophobia, which is the light sensitivity. So a lot plays into pigmentation, which albinism doesn't have. When you have a condition, sometimes you can feel very ashamed of it. And people will feel ashamed for you. They'll come up to you and they'll be like, well, I can't imagine having this condition, and how do you live that? Oh man, you're just so lucky that you have people around you that can help you because you're blind or you're this or that. And it's like, no, I can still do a lot despite the disability. Never let your disability just make you less important, because my disability is not my defining factor. I am a visually impaired person, but I have other qualities about myself that I want to think of myself as, despite the blindness. I can cook despite my blindness. I can draw despite my blindness. And that could be said about all disabilities, not just blindness. And I just feel like able people typically take it as, I feel bad because you have this, and therefore I need to make you feel like you can do it, instead of asking, can you do it? Well, that was my spiel of all the things that I am thankful for that Mia has brought into my life. Well, at least that's all the ones that I can remember for the time being. I cannot believe this year is already over. I am so incredibly thankful for all the things that God has brought into my life this year. And I hope you enjoy your holiday. And these are some videos YouTube might think you are interested in, so give them a check.